I wasn't sleeping, just resting my eyes. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Today's show, 5 players that you should not sleep on the Raiders. We got a lot of things going on this offseason. These are 5 players you need to keep your eyes on offense. One player that is getting slept on is running back Jalen Richard. I love Josh Jacobs, and I understand that he was taken in the first round, 24th overall. But Jalen Richard deserves, I think, a little bit more credit for this Raiders offense last season, and I think he's going to be a bigger part of the offense going into this year. Yes, they went out and they got Antonio Brown. They got Tyrell Williams. They have other options in the passing game where they might not have to lean on Jalen Richard as much. But I still think that he's going to be the third down running back despite going out and getting Josh Jacobs. Now, let's think about this. He was tied as our leader in receptions. Jared Cook, no longer on the team. Jordy Nelson, no longer on the team. Seth Roberts, no longer on the team. And that last guy, Droposaurus Rex, no longer on the team. But here's the other thing. Receiving yards leaders. Who is the only person on that list? It's Jalen Richard. I think he's going to lose some touches to Josh Jacobs. But Derek Carr has shown that he relies on Jalen Richard to pick up maybe some tough first downs. And if he's out there during third down, and let's say the Raiders are behind in certain games because they do have a very tough schedule, I think the Raiders are going to rely on Jalen Richard a lot more in 2019 than what people think. So this is the $1 million question. Well, I'm not giving out $1 million, but more receptions in 2019. I want you to type J for Jacobs or type R for Richard. Be an overachiever, okay? Be an overachiever. Tell me how many receptions you think Josh Jacobs is going to have, and then tell me how many receptions you think Jalen Richard is going to have in 2019. Next player that you should not sleep on, it's Darren Waller. Now, this is more of a statement to the rest of the NFL because I don't know if Raider Nation is really sleeping on Darren Waller, because we know that Jon Gruden and we know that Mike Mayock have high hopes for this kid in this year. He came into the NFL as a wide receiver. He's 6'6". He's super athletic. What's been Darren Waller's biggest issue? Staying healthy, staying clear, keep not getting suspended. You look at the freak athlete that he is, and then you're going to look at the the tight ends that Derek Carr has had in his entire career. In 2018, his top tight end, Jared Cook. Solid numbers. Jared Cook in 2017, solid numbers. Sure, Clive Walford is, Darren Waller is more talented than Clive Walford. But Michael Rivera, even back in 2014, Carr's first year, Derek has shown throughout his entire career that he relies on the tight end. So 3 out of 5 seasons, essentially the main tight end for Derek Carr had over 500 receiving yards. And when I look in the comments section, I see a lot of people putting Waller around this number in terms of receiving yards. So over or under. Type O for over. Type U for under. Keeping things simple here on the Raiders Report. Over under 500 receiving yards for Darren Waller, or the player Jon Gruden says is the best kept secret on the Oakland Raiders. Now, before I go, there's going to be a little bit of a commercial break here. So for those of you that are watching on YouTube, don't go anywhere because when I come back, I'm going to reveal a wide receiver that you should not sleep on. It's number 3. It's Hunter Renfrow. Now, I think he has a chance to be the starting slot receiver for the Oakland Raiders. We have Antonio Brown. We have Tyrell Williams, who I think you can almost argue is just as good as a 1-2 punch in the NFL. Now you insert Hunter Renfrow, who is a rookie, and I think he is a clutch player that shows up when it matters the most, and I can guarantee you, Derek Carr and Jon Gruden are going to be drawing up plays for Hunter Renfrow. There was a reason why his nickname at Clemson was Third and Renfrow, because quarterbacks like Deshaun Watson, they looked for him on third down. They were always targeting him because he has clutch hands. Sure, they're tiny, but there's no doubt that when you're looking at the defense, people are going to be worrying about Antonio Brown. They're going to be worrying about Tyrell Williams stretching the field. Heck, you're going to have to at least respect J.J. Nelson's speed, which I think is going to open up the underneath route for a solid receiver like Hunter Renfrow. Now, this is an interesting question. And I love seeing what you guys comment because somebody asked me this the other day, okay? So I really thought about it, and if you want to know who I think is going to lead the Raiders in first down catches, I want you to hit me up on IG or on Twitter at MitchellRens365, but I want to know from the entire nation, who will lead the Raiders in first down catches this upcoming season? I want to give a special shout out to the nation on IG. So these are some people who recently followed me on Instagram. So what I want everyone to do, if you're watching today's show, I want you to take a screenshot. I want you to share this on your personal Instagram account and then tag me in it, okay? Tag me in it at MitchellRens365, and then I'll share it to my IG story. If you tag me in it, I'm going to put you on the show next week, okay? Let's get it. Raider Nation on Twitter also. These are some people who recently followed me on Twitter. I'm trying to spread the word of my show, and I'm trying to spread the word of Raider Nation, the only nation. And I'm always blown away by just the amazing people who I always interact with. And speaking of the people who I always interact with, 10 Barrel Brewing, I hit them up on Twitter. I told them, hey guys, I'm going to be at your facility July 6th at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So if you want to come, have a beer with me, you want to talk some Raiders football, Saturday, July 6th at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Mark it in your calendars. If you want to join me, hit me up on IG and on Twitter. Share the word, Raider Nation. All right, let's get to another player that you shouldn't sleep on. It's another wide receiver, and it's Keelan Doss. I'm going to say this straight up. I'm sorry for sleeping on Keelan Doss. I have watched a lot of tape on this kid, and I am kicking myself in the butt because he's a solid receiver. I don't care that he went to UC Davis. He is a talented receiver. He's 6'2", he's 218, he's a little bit bigger than your typical slot wide receiver. But he's smart, and he's got a good football IQ. And if you're watching today's show, drink because he's a Gruden grinder. Now, I think that he could make the 53-man roster. And I think one of the main reasons that people fell in love with him is because in 2018 he had 118 catches, 1,334 yards, 9 touchdowns. Again, he's a receiver that's more built for the slot, but he's even bigger. But he didn't just do it in 2018 at UC Davis. He did it in 2017 too. He had 115 catches, 1,499 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Now, I'm not going to sit here and project those type of numbers for a receiver coming out of UC Davis. But the fact that he's going to be battling for one of those final 3 wide receiver spots, I think he at least has a chance. Marcel Aitman, talented, showed up big for us last year. J.J. Nelson's got that elite speed. Ryan Grant and Hunter Renfrow, I don't really know if I would want to keep both of them. I would rather just keep Hunter Renfrow, but that's between you and me. But when you look at the height, you look at the pounds, and then you also look at skill set, Keelan Doss is a sleeper that I'm telling you right now, you better not sleep on. So I'm going to ask this question. Will Doss make the 53-man? We have a lot of talented receivers coming into this offseason. Think about it. I think one of our biggest needs was wide receiver. And then all of a sudden, you go out, you add AB. You go out, you add Tyrell Williams. You make additions like a Hunter Renfrow, like a Ryan Grant. You have Marcel Aitman. Will Keelan Doss make the 53-man roster? So I want to know from everyone. Type Y for yes or type N for no. And heck, guys, I'm doing sleepers. I'll be honest, I had a heck of a night. So let me get rid of some of these sleepers in my eyes. So just sit tight if you're watching on YouTube. You're going to have a quick commercial break, and then I'm going to give you my last sleeper that you better not sleep on. It's Lester Cotton. And I love Cotton. I'm going to say it like Cotton because I love the movie Dodgeball. So you better listen up. Signed with the Raiders as a UDFA. The reason why maybe you've never heard of Lester Cotton is because he suffered injuries the last 2 years at Alabama. And he is great in the power run game. Guess who wants to establish a power run game? Tom Cable. I don't like him, but it's one of the reasons why he went out and got a Richie Incognito. Now, I still think Incognito is the best left guard that the Raiders have. 6'3", 320. He's a Pro Bowler when he's at his best. Sure, didn't play last year, but in 2015, 2017, Richie Incognito. Now, Denzelle Good, I've seen ranked as the starter on a lot of depth charts. That's not true. That's just simply not true. Lester Cotton at 6'4", 324. If he can stay healthy, I'm telling you right now, do not be surprised if Lester Cotton jumps Denzelle Good, and if Richie Incognito screws up this year, Lester Cotton could be a starting left guard for the Oakland Raiders. So you see Richie, you see Denzelle, and you got Lester. I want you to rank them. Rank these 3 left guards for the Oakland Raiders in 2019. Is Richie number 1, 2, 3? Is it just like that? If you want to mix it up a little bit, I'm all for it. I'm going to be looking in the comment section of people who comment below on YouTube and on Facebook. So here are my 5 Raiders sleepers that you better keep an eye on in 2019. Jalen Richard, running back, led the team in receptions last year with 68. Darren Waller, tight end. Hunter Renfrow, Keelan Doss, my 2 wide receiver sleepers. And then last, offensive guard, Lester Cotton. So those are my 5, but you guys know that I want to hear from you. So I want you to name a Raiders sleeper on offense. So if you watch the Raiders Report on YouTube or on Facebook, anywhere that you see this video, I want you to comment below a Raiders sleeper on offense in 2019. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.